Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Kiera Shanice, and today we're going to be talking about documentation and benefits of working as an international teacher in Kuwait. So stay tuned. First, let me say this video was highly requested. I had so many people asking me about what type of documentation do they need and what are the benefits, what's the perks and stuff of moving overseas. So this is for you guys, and thank you guys so much for being interactive and engaging with me, asking your questions, and just thank you guys. Thank you for all the likes, all the subscriptions, and just thank you. It really makes me excited that you all are like curious and are interested in taking advantage of the opportunity, because I firmly believe that there's so much more to life than where we come from, whether it be the States, Jamaica, wherever. You should put yourself out there and just travel the world, see the world, what it has to offer. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I hope this video helps y'all. The documentation process to enter into Kuwait is long. Like, it takes a long time. It's not going to be something that you apply in 2 weeks and then you start your job. It's just not going to happen that way. Mentally prepare yourself that it can take anywhere from like 3 to 6 months before you finish everything. So just keep that in mind. So first things first, when it comes to documentation to enter into Kuwait, you have to have a valid passport, and your passport has to be valid for at least a minimum of 2 years. And it also has to have room for it to be stamped, and that it's not close to its expiration date, because if so, then what will happen is they will require for you to renew before you can proceed in the onboarding. The next thing that you're gonna need is a completed visa application. So there are several different ways to apply for your visa. Kuwait did have an e-visa online, but they kind of suspended that service once the world shut down from COVID. So my school actually helped me with this process, and they actually applied for my visa for me. Now, if your school is not able to apply for you, again, there are several websites where you can go. With e-visa, i-visa, there's a lot of different websites. But yeah, so you need a current visa application, and then of course the application has to get approved by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing that you're going to need is a few copies of a passport size photo. Now for me in particular, I was asked for 4, so I would just say 4 to 8, because you're gonna have to send that off with your contract from your school, and then a couple different other places you'll have to send that off with. And it's easy to obtain. Again, my process is coming from the United States, particularly in Florida. So I just went to Walgreens and told them that I needed a copy of my, I told them that I needed a passport size photo, and they were able to print it off for me, and it was like $2, and you can do the same thing at Walmart. I hope you guys are still hanging in there. So we're moseying on through the documents, and the next thing on the list is going to be an HIV and AIDS test, along with the other medical clearance that you have to have. Obtaining this report, it is pretty extensive. It's like a physical, so they check your overall well-being, but there are additional items that Kuwait asks for, which are the filariasis tests, and that one was so hard to find. I literally went to like 8 clinics, and I was only able to find 1 out of the 8 that actually did the test. So my recommendation is to call around to the different clinics to find out where you can get all of the things done, at least majority of them done in one. And also check your local health departments, because even though you may have insurance and insurance does cover it, you can go to the health department and get most of these things done, which is what I ended up doing, and it's for little to no cost. Back to the tests, it is the filariasis, malaria, the chest x-ray, hepatitis A, B, and in other words, a full health screening. And your school should provide you with the documentation of the form that it will need to be filled out on. Another thing that you're going to need is an FBI check. The FBI check is only good for a certain amount of time. It's about 30 days from the issuance until your entry into the country. So you want to time this just right. My school did a wonderful job with giving us the steps that we needed and having us follow them in a certain order, so that way we got certain things done and we weren't pushing deadlines and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you check with your HR liaison so that way you can time your FBI check just right. So now this is the fun part. Not really. Degrees and transcripts. You want to make sure that you have your degrees and your transcripts ready to go. Transcripts need to be sealed from your institution of study. And the degrees, the transcript, the work permit, the police clearance are all going to have to be authenticated and attested by the state. So like I said, I'm from Florida, so mine had to go to Washington to be authenticated, and then after being authenticated and attested by the state, they then have to be authenticated and attested by the Kuwait Embassy. If you are a resident of Florida, yours will go to the Kuwait Embassy or the Kuwait Consulate that is in New York. Altogether, that process can take before I left, the state was backed up about 12 to 15 weeks. So if you know that this is something that you want to do and you are already in the process of applying for jobs or interviewing for jobs, I would recommend going ahead and at least getting your degrees and transcripts authenticated, because the process can take very long. I mean, at least the degrees and the transcripts, because no matter what, it doesn't matter what school you work at, probably not even the country, you're gonna have to have those degrees and transcripts authenticated. The next thing that you are going to need are references. So they are going to call and they are going to verify and check your references, and at least 2 out of the 3 need to be current or previous supervisors. And you're going to need experience letters verifying your work history. As far as documentation goes, documentation can change from school to school. Always check with your HR liaison from your current school to make sure that you have everything that you need, so that way you don't have any delays or anything like that in your process. And then if you want to drive, when I came over, I had already visited Kuwait, I had already experienced the traffic and the driving in Kuwait, and it was a no for me. So I opted out of driving here. If you are wanting to drive, you do need to have your driver's license authenticated as well, so that way you can obtain a valid driver's license here in the country of Kuwait. So as far as documentation, that's pretty much the standard. Depending on where you decide to work, the documentation could change. It shouldn't be drastically different, but that is the gist of what you're going to need in order to at least get the ball rolling for you to complete your onboarding process for a job here in Kuwait. Now, the other thing that you guys have been requesting is to know about the benefits of working as an international teacher, and more particularly here in Kuwait. So let's talk about those benefits. All right, so benefits. So starting out, in regards to benefits packages, what I recommend is to compare, because all schools' packages are not the exact same, and I've learned the art of haggling. And if you come to the Middle East, you are going to learn and you're going to master haggling. Haggling is basically just bargaining, because usually you can bargain or haggle just about anything here in Kuwait. For starters, I have a free flight to and from the school. So what that means is my school pays for my flight to come here at the beginning of the school year, and then they pay for me a return flight home during the summer. But there are other schools that don't include your flight, that you might have to pay for half your flight, you might get reimbursed. So again, it just depends on the school, depends on your package. Along with my flight, I also get a certain amount of luggage that I'm able to bring, so they'll reimburse me for, you know, the excess baggage. There is a certain dollar amount, but it does change from what I was told from year to year. And my school also reimburses us I can't talk today. They also reimburse us the cost for obtaining our visa. So what that means is all the money that we spend in regards to getting documents authenticated, whether it be shipping an envelope or whatever, or you know, paying the fee for the attestation, we get reimbursed as long as you provide the official receipt. It can't be a copy of the receipt, it has to be the actual receipt. So they reimburse that. Amazing, because as mentioned earlier, the costs for authenticating and attesting documents can get pretty steep. Next, I always get asked about housing. So yes, my housing is free. And I mean like free. I have everything included, lights, water, internet, and it is fully furnished. Because my school is like literally right across the road from my housing, we don't necessarily get transportation, but if we were to be further away, then yes, the school would provide it. And that's kind of standard from what I've learned here in the Middle East. If you are housed away from your school, then typically you're going to be provided with some type of transportation. In addition to that, my school also has shuttles throughout the week where they take us, they take us to like the mall for free, they take us to the grocery stores and other little like outings and things like that, where you just sign up, they provide a bus for us, and yeah. The next thing that we get is our health insurance. So the health insurance is an international health insurance, so you can use it in fairly many places, and the package that we have for our health insurance is actually really good. I believe when I go to the doctor, I only have to pay like 10 KD, so that ends up being like 30 something US dollars, and I can literally have a major surgery and it's covered for 10 KD, so it's pretty good. And then of course we have like our professional development, and there are other things included in the school, but those are like the big hitters right there that mostly everybody asks about. Working overseas has lots and lots of benefits, and the big one, it is tax-free. So you don't have to pay any taxes. All of your income, you get to keep it all. You get to keep it. So, and you are exempt from filing taxes in the state. So it's a win-win. Well guys, that wraps it up for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope I was able to answer all of you guys' questions. Feel free to leave questions and comments in the chat. Make sure you like the video and also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.